Any questions, just have them in your mind. And after giving 4 or 5 pillars of this, navigating the future and investing in the future, we'll open it up for questions and interaction. So number 1, first and most important pillar is sustainability. And I put that number 1 because if we don't have a sustainable future, nothing matters. If we are getting sick from our air, our water, our soil, nothing matters. Build as big of a mansion as you want in New Delhi. But if you and your family are dying of lung cancer, us mansion se kya karenge? If your children are developing childhood asthma, and they can't go outside, and they can't run, and they can't climb trees, तो mansion का क्या फायदा है? सबसे सुंदर, सबसे महंगी कॉलोनी में घर बनाया, लेकिन even morning walk जाने के लिए we cannot breathe. What is the point? So sustainability must be our first pillar of whatever we're building. But I would go even further, because sustainability is the kind of the lowest rung. We must be sustainable, but we must not be satisfied with being only sustainable. Imagine I say to you, imagine we're friends and काफी समय के बाद हम लोग मिलते हैं, and I say to you, "Hare yaar, nice to see you. अच्छा गृहस्थी कैसे चल रही? How's your family? How's your marriage?" And you say to me, "Sustainable." Oh, अब सोचो, sustainable? Is that the answer we want to give to the question of how is your marriage, how is your family, how is your life? No, if someone says it's sustainable, it means कि the sky hasn't yet fallen. अभी तक divorce नहीं हुआ. बस इतना है इसका मतलब. Sustainable मतलब कि आज तक अभी तक divorce नहीं हुआ. यही sustainable का मतलब. कि just आज के लिए we are managing. But that's not the answer you want if somebody says to you, गृहस्थी कैसे चल रही है? Parivar, beche. The answer should not be sustainable. The answer should be beautiful, positive, blossoming, wonderful. So that's actually what we want for our world. Sustainable is the lowest rung we're looking for. So we must achieve it, but we must not be satisfied only with sustainable. We must remember, as we talk about economy, what's the first word of economy? Eco. If economy does not have eco in it, meaning ecology, meaning eco-friendly, meaning our ecosystem, then that economy is very superficial and it will not last. So whatever economy we are building, investing in, navigating, creating, it must be one that is ecologically sustainable, but even more than sustainable. It must be one in which we realize we are not separate. The farms, the farmers, the people who are eating what is grown in the farms, we are not separate. If the farm is being polluted with chemical fertilizers, with chemical pesticides, and the farmers are dying of cancer, and their children have got birth defects, when we eat that, we are also getting sick. आप ऐसे मत सोचिएगा कि farm को pollute करें, farmer का स्वास्थ्य को ruin करें, but that somehow we will be able to be healthy with that which comes from the farm. Never. We are in this together. We are in one boat together. What happens to our farms, What happens to our farmers is happening to all of us, which means those investments in the future must be investments in that which is organic, that which is fair trade, that which is healthy for the farms, healthy for the farmers, and healthy for those of us who are taking it in. All of the industries we're building, the buildings we're building, the factories we're building, they are not being built in a vacuum. They're being built as part of an ecosystem. And if that industry is polluting the air, is spewing its waste into the air, into the ground, into the soil, into the river, if it's cutting corners because man mange more, and jo more, it must be cheaper, taki hum और खरीद लें, लेकिन पैसा बचा के रखो. In order for that, they must be cutting corners. Those corners they are cutting are our future. There was a young man who had a job as an architect in a firm. And he spent his whole life working in this firm. Finally, he actually married his boss's daughter. They got married. When he married the boss's daughter, they decided, ki chalo, we're gonna do something else. I'm gonna retire from this job and do something else. So he goes to tell his boss that this is gonna be his final month. And the boss says, no problem. He says, bas ek aur guard banao. Just make one final house as this architect. You're such a great architect. You've done such wonderful work. Bas ek last gar banao. So the guy thought, okay, no problem. But जैसे हम करते हैं, जब हम अपने लिए सोच रहे हैं, he cut all the corners as much as he could, जल्दीबाजी में काम किया. अब तो कंपनी मेरी नहीं है. जब कुछ अपना है, then we work very hard for it. जब कुछ किसी और का है, we don't work so hard for it. तो पहले कंपनी तो मेरा था, पहले अपना, अब उनका है. So now the boy cuts all the corners. End of the day, he goes to the boss and he hands him the keys to this new house and he says, Ab chalo, I've done the final house. Now I'm leaving. And the boss hands him the keys back. And he says, this is my wedding present to you and my daughter. This house you've built, this is my present to you. Now you take this house to live in. अब आप सोचो, अब कैसे लग रहे होगा, क्या सोचते होंगे, कि that house I had the opportunity to build beautifully, perfectly. I built it as junk क्योंकि मुझे लगा किसी और का है. मुझे लगा somebody else has to live in it. Now that I realize I have to live in it, he felt very bad. But this is the truth of our lives. What we are building, whether it's a factory, whether it's an industry, whether it's a home, whether it's a building, whether it's a future, whatever we are building, we have to live there. Our children have to live there. So production and pollution should never go together. Make sure that whatever investments are coming in production and products, that they do not go with pollution. There must be a sharp line between production and pollution. Pollution ko door karna. Production, we can increase it, but not with pollution. Not to the air, not to the water, not to the soil, not to our minds and our hearts, not to our lives and our societies. Apni jo Make in India program that our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji gave, this beautiful program, Make in India. Well, Make in India must also make sure that we are making India and making Indians healthy, happy, and harmonious. ऐसे ना हो कि जो हम make in India बनाएंगे, that India is becoming then polluted and unhealthy and harmful. At the same time that we make in India, we must make India and make Indians healthy, happy, harmonious. And the way to do that is we remember, again, as our Honorable Prime Minister gave the beautiful slogan of going vocal for local. What is being produced locally? I was so happy to see in the exhibition all of the work of Khadi, all of these sorts of industries. The industries that don't require cutting down trees to put in factories. The industries that are based on our culture, on our traditions of oneness and togetherness. Because the future of our nature determines the nature of our future. I will say that again. The future of our nature determines the nature of our future. Our future is being built based on how our nature is. If we are not taking care of our natural world, our future is not going to be healthy. So culture, nature, and future must go together. Our culture, yahi sanskriti that teaches us how to care for the world, that has us praying to the plants before we pluck a leaf, that has us leaving a little bit of our rice, of our food outside of our thalis for the birds, for the animals. We are a culture that takes care of the earth and of all of the other beings we share this planet with. So we go back to that. Next pillar. So first pillar is sustainability. Second pillar is we need a new definition of success and wealth. A new definition. It used to be, जब आप किसी के बारे में बात करते थे, if we used to say कि कोई बड़ा आदमी हो, तो बड़ा आदमी, it meant that he was a very wise person, a great man, a mentor in the society, in the community. कोई बड़ा आदमी हो is a really great compliment, somebody with wisdom and integrity and dharma. आजकल बड़ा आदमी का क्या मतलब? पैसा वाला. We have started bowing down to जिनके पास पैसा हो. It used to be कि जिनके पास पैसा हो, they were using that money to support जिनके पास ज्ञान हो. The money of the wealthy used to be used to support those who had vision, who had wisdom, who were the bade aadmi, who were the leaders of the society. But now, it's become a matter of the leaders are simply those with money. The wise ones, those whose advice we take, those whose feet we touch, have become simply those with money. So we have to change that definition of success and wealth. नहीं तो हम पैसा के पीछे पीछे भागते हैं. Neither we attain wisdom, nor we attain integrity, nor we fulfill dharma, nor we actually attain peace and happiness, nor we help the planet. All we do is acquire and attain and hoard. And we become sick. देखो आजकल आप कोई भी बड़ा hospital में जाओ, and you buy all of these annual
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your honorable presence, gracious words, and that will stay with us for a long time.